One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free, then let me be free.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning to all of you freaking legends out there. Much love, honor, respect to everybody. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, wherever the hell you guys are from. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. Let's give a round of applause to the Breakfast Club, man. We got our coffee. You know the deal. You know the deal. So we actually had a couple of things happen this morning. As you guys know, I love to break news and show you guys some stuff that basically no one is doing. I love being able to provide you guys some live footage of things that are happening around the world, including right here in the United States. We were going to go ahead and cover today, originally, worldwide threats. The U.S. House hearing was going to basically come together and discuss what was going to be, how they're going to go forward with all the different threats that are going on around the world, how they're going to go about that. Now, that House hearing is now delayed. And so no big deal. You know what I do last second? We're able to, come together and figure out what is going on. And right now, guys, we've got some pretty crazy shit. I'm not even going to lie to you. We actually have the U.S. Embassy that in Kyiv that shut down due to basically threats. There was a significant airstrike threat from Russia. So we're going to go ahead and discuss that. As you guys saw in the thumbnail right there, U.S. Embassy in Kyiv closed over threats of significant air attack. So this is going to be interesting. That was just last night. And of course, they're going to be discussing that this morning. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon to all you legends, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the number one metric of all of YouTube, man. It helps out the show immensely. And if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, man. Appreciate you guys. As well as please consider becoming a member. We made it that it's only $2.99 a month. I know not everyone can spend money online. I get it. But we definitely have made it to where it's affordable for everybody for the most part. It's less than a cup of coffee per month. So, and it very much helps out the show. And also, of course, we're going to be shouting out everybody that sends in money monetarily. We're talking, super chats, gifted members, membership signups, stuff like that. Of course, they're going to be shouted out. But if you guys would like to help out the show monetarily, we have these scrolling down below. You guys can send me that, and I will read off your guys' message personally and not have YouTube take its brutal 30% cut. So anyways, guys, last but not least, call to action. Follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything of the show, behind the scenes of my lifestyle, of me, of Millennial Food Time, the kitty running around. We got Lucy Ball running around. But yeah, that's where I post everything and where I correspond with everybody. So anyways, we'll allow the bottom to scroll there for the remainder of the show. Good to see you guys. We got brother Steve Easy over here. We got Warlin as well as brother Rob Shadow. And let's see, we've got Steve Posse, or I always forget. Is it Posey? Posey, right? You told me how to pronounce it, but see, that's what happens when you talk to an illiterate fuck. Me, by the way, not you, me. I think that's evident. So we got Tiffany up in here as well. Good to see you. SNS, good to see you as well, man. It's always an honor. We got Brother Road Rage as well as Brother Hardwire. Good to see you guys. Straight Jacket. Holy shit, Mike, I have a headache. What? From what? You didn't even like do anything last night. You didn't even drink, did you? Like, I didn't see you drinking. Like, I was drinking, but hey, I guess I'm a pro, where I don't have like hangovers like that when I'm drinking small time. We got Redneck Side up in here. Appreciate you. Good morning, kind sir. Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning over there. Yes, sir. We got Carney as well. Good to see you, as well as Mount High. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Papa, good to see you, as well as Anson Knowles. Thank you guys. DJ, good to see you, man. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. Huggy, man, you guys, it is thick in here this morning, man. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. We got Hank coming in with the $2 Canadian, bro. Thank you so much for your patronage, kind sir. Thank you for helping out the show, and it goes very, very far. I appreciate that. If one is lucky, you might get a gifted membership. That is a fact. Make sure you guys have in your settings on your YouTube thing where your super chats are, I believe. If you hit that, the cogwheel or whatever, you have to hit accept gifted memberships. And if you do that on my channel, then it works on every single other channel that you're basically subscribed to. You just have to turn it on one time. Yeah. What's up? What's up, fucking low key? What's up? Hopefully you're doing well. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever the hell you're from, man. Much love, honor, respect, everybody. All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. And see, I'm sorry. See, I'm bad with it. But I remembered that I misspoke the first time, the first few times. But hey, it is what it is. Good to see you, Pablo. I drank enough for straighten myself. Damn, yeah. For me, I had some of that. Listen, man, we polished off the bottle, the ball valve established in 2019 bottle right here, single barrel bottle of Jack, 190 proof. Yes, sir. We polished that off. Man, there's no way Straight Jacket would be able to hang with us over here with that shit, Dragon Classy, good to see you. Hopefully you're having a good one as well. I'm trying to catch up with each and every single one of you guys, man. It's legendary. Thank you guys for being here. You guys could be anywhere in the world, but you guys decided to be here. We got Miss Lotus saying good morning. Good morning over to you over there in Florida. All right, let's go ahead and get into this shit, man. We did our hellos. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today, we obviously had to change what we were talking about topic-wise because the House hearing was delayed. I don't even know if they're doing that today anymore. I think they're going to do that tomorrow or the next day because there is a lot of shit going on in the media right now. We even have some stuff going on with the House as we speak. So it's kind of being, I don't know who did the timing on that originally, but hey, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and figure out what's going on around the world. We probably are not going to dive directly straight into the embassies first. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of news cycle before it. So let's go ahead and discuss it, man. Let's get into the nitty gritty of this shit.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome in here on Live Now from Fox. The time 5:57 on the East Coast and 2:57 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next several hours to bring you.
And this is this morning about 5 hours ago.
All of your top stories and live events.
This is all still live.
The country and across the world. Do want to call your attention to that sidebar right there on the left-hand side of your screen. That is just some of the top stories that we are working on today. Now, a big one that we've been talking about for several days, the House Ethics Committee could vote today as they meet behind closed doors there on whether to release that report about former Representative.
What's up, Nicole? And right now what they're talking about is regarding Matt Gaetz. We're going to go ahead and figure out what's going on with him as well.
Matt Gaetz. This is an ethics investigation that has been underway, but there's a lot of questions about whether that report will be released, considering that Gaetz is the pick for Attorney General for Donald Trump and also did resign from his position just last week. So we'll talk more about that all throughout the morning. Going international right now, we also know that the U.S. Embassy over in Kyiv has...
Now, that's what I'm very interested in as well. Of course, like I said yesterday regarding Matt Gaetz, when it comes down to our politicians, anybody that's going to, work for us, if there are claims, I say, you know what? Go ahead and investigate it. Figure it out. Figure out the truth. Seek the truth. Get the truth. That's it. It's when, when they start making it a witch hunt, that's when it's like, okay, dude, get over yourselves. But hey, I hope that they investigate, find or not find, whatever the case is, so nobody has to worry about that shit anymore. But I am interested in the embassy going on in Kyiv and why that shut down because of their threat.
Down. It is closed right now as there are concerns about whether there could be an attack from Russia. This all stemming, of course, from the situation that is ongoing between Russia
Steve.
and Ukraine. Yesterday marking 1,000 days of war for Ukraine.
Totally an oxymoron, by the way. How can any of these committees be talking about ethics at this point? Right. It is an oxymoron.
Also, we've been following that trial of Jose Ibarra. He is, of course, charged in connection with the murder of Laken Riley on the University of Georgia campus. That was back in February. His trial getting back underway at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. The defense expected to continue to make its case. Now, the whole thing overall could wrap up later on today, so we'll bring you all of that as it does get underway. Do you want to pop this up right here on your screen? This is a live look at the Capitol building there in D.C. as we get to the latest.
Yo, by the way, real quick, listen, make sure you guys are hitting that like button, as it is the #1 metric of all of YouTube. It helps out the show immensely, man. Make sure you guys hit that and make sure you guys subscribe down below, man. Appreciate you guys.
Just on President-elect Donald Trump. Now, he has made his latest picks for his administration.
Yo!
And that includes former W.
Hold on. We got to do it correctly over here. You know what we do over here. Listen, we have brother Lee Lance that sent over $3 on the Cash App saying for dues, bro. Hey. Brother Lee Lance, his dues are paid. Dollar dues. Appreciate you guys.
W.E. boss, Linda
Thank you, Brother Lee.
McMahon, as Education Secretary. TV's Dr. Oz as Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services Administrator. And Cantor Fitzgerald CEO Howard Lutnick as Commerce Secretary. Robert Moses with our Fox 5 New York team has more on all of it.
Judge Juan Merchan has not said when he will decide if he will freeze the hush money case against President-elect Donald Trump or toss it entirely. In a court filing yesterday, prosecutors suggested delaying it while...
Shit. How do you think I feel, Dwayne? You know what I mean? I definitely am always trying to keep up with you guys. It's hilarious. You guys are like always doing a race over here where I'm trying to keep up with you guys and I'm trying to keep up with the story at the same time and being able to respond to you guys. So I'm like doing 3 things at once. I feel that. So Mount High coming in hot, by the way. Thank you, kind sir. Becoming a member, man. That's humongous. I very much appreciate your guys' patronage and help to the channel, man. Thank you. Shout out to you, Mount High.
Opposed dismissing it altogether. The people deeply respect the office of the president, are mindful of the demands and obligations of the presidency, and acknowledge that defendants' inauguration will raise...
Yeah, and Dr. Oz did become one of the picks.
Unprecedented legal
questions. I don't know how I feel about that.
Said.
I've got missing information, I guarantee it. Like, there has to be a reason. Dr. Oz's background, I'm sure there's something of significance there, but I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it.
Deeply respect the fundamental role
what
of
up,
the
Joseph?
jury
Stop
in
the cap.
Our constitutional system.
Hey, good job last night, by the way, representing Canada on the panel, kind sir. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, kind sir.
The battle will almost certainly delay the president-elect's sentencing scheduled for Tuesday. Today in Washington, the House Ethics Committee meets as pressure builds for the panel to release its report on the Attorney General nominee, former Congressman Matt Gaetz, who faces allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use.
Rocket as well.
President-elect Trump traveled to SpaceX headquarters in South Texas yesterday.
Yeah, I really know nothing about Dr. Oz aside from like he has a show or whatever. But like I don't actually know his background whatsoever. I don't know anything enough for me to actually make a claim one way or the other.
It's the launch of the world's most
What's up, Gunpowder Nitro?
On its 6th
morning.
Test flight alongside the company's CEO Elon Musk. The president-elect continued to staff his administration. He tapped former professional wrestling executive Linda McMahon and a leader of his transition team to lead the Department of Education, which he has vowed to eliminate. McMahon served as the administrator of the Small Business Administration for part of the president-elect's first term. He selected the chairman and CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald and the other co-chair of his transition team, Howard Lutnick, to be Commerce Secretary, and the president-elect nominated
He did on the DC swamp when he first got there. So there's a documentary. What's the name of the documentary? I'm curious.
Dr. Mehmet Oz, the former TV
Curiosity killed my virginity. Shit.
host, to be the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
A big thank you there to Robert Moses with our Fox 5 New York team as he does bring us the latest. Of course, we will
Good morning,
continue
Bob.
to follow all of
Kind
this
sir.
today, marking 2.
You did a fantastic job last night, by the way. Fantastic job. It was a great time hanging out with you, and thank you for having me on your panel, man.
Months until Inauguration Day for President-elect Trump. We're going to have all kinds of coverage leading up to that day. And on the day, you can watch everything right here, live, raw, and unfiltered on Live Now from Fox.
Time for
That
some
is set
left-handed
for
tobacco.
January 20th, of course, 2025. A lot to discuss as always, so I do want to bring in Rich Rubino, political analyst and historian. Thank you so much for taking the time, as always, to join us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me on again.
Of course. Well, first off, I do want to talk about Trump's inauguration. As I mentioned, we are 2 months away. What do we expect that all of that is going to look like? Do we have any idea just yet?
Not really. I would expect it would be foundationally like any other inauguration address. Last time was a little bit different because Donald Trump actually left office, or at least left the White House the day before the inauguration, did not actually attend the inauguration of his successor, Joe
Coffee
Biden.
time.
Almost always the predecessor attends the inauguration. They actually meet with the incoming president. They have coffee together in the White House, then they take the limousine over to the.
You talking about coffee the same time I'm talking about coffee, stupid. Don't be mocking me over here. You know, hey, the Breakfast Club got to have their coffee. Make sure you guys hit that like button and make sure you guys got your coffee, or, hey, it could be a cocktail too. Whatever, man. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Stop the cap.
Stop the cap.
Let's go.
The Capitol together in a show of unity, basically. Then they go to they give the speech, and sometimes the president will even recognize the former president that they ran against. I mean, Jimmy Carter, for example.
It's called the Swamp. That's awesome.
1977, began his speech by saying about Gerald Ford, who was there, "I want to thank my predecessor for all he's done to heal our land." So I think that my guess is that Joe Biden, even though it probably begrudgingly, will certainly attend the inauguration and will probably be in that car as well.
We've heard a lot about Trump's administrative picks. He started naming them, I would say, right after he was the president-elect. Is that how it normally works? Do we see these names start to come out in large numbers almost right away?
Yes, absolutely. Usually,
see, I'm glad that Nicole is on my level. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There's a little bit of a process, especially during the campaign. Toward the end of the campaign, where the president kind of had, it's really kind of surreptitious, but they're really looking at who potentially.
By the way, good morning, Tats, over there. For you, good afternoon in England. Good to see you.
Could serve, and then the cabinet could serve in those positions, and then they kind of rock and roll as soon as the president, as soon as they have a president-elect. There's some interviews, certainly. Usually, there are a lot of loyalists that the president will choose. You're seeing that's certainly no different here with Donald Trump. Many people have been very loyal to him. Sometimes people that have gone back that have gone back decades with the president will potentially get positions either on the White House staff, which do not need a Senate confirmation, or as some sort of a cabinet member. And once in a while,
yeah, Tot does. Yeah, Tot does. I saw you, by the way, Pablo. Sure. It was a typo, right?
Stop the cap.
Yeah.
You have
I'm
a
just
position.
kidding.
You have an instance where a cabinet member or a potential cabinet member has to withdraw their name. For example, Tom Daschle did that when he was Health and Human Services Secretary for Obama. Bill Clinton had two.
Yeah, are you still drinking alcohol with it though?
His first 2 nominees for Attorney General had issues involving a nanny that was undocumented. They had to withdraw their name. But usually the president, even if it's a Senate with the Senate that's under control of the other party, usually the nominations.
She was on last night. She was gifting out subs last night.
Go through without very much controversy.
Are there any picks right now that you've seen so far that stand out to you? A lot of political experts will say, you know, this name or this name, but any of them as a political expert that do stand out to you?
I think Matt Gaetz, certainly, that was the one that really surprised a lot of people when he nominated him. Matt Gaetz is now a former congressman from Florida. He's since resigned. He was under investigation for allegedly having an underage sexual relationship or for having
Oh
a
my God, dude.
for having sexual relationship with a 17-year-old
Bro,
girl who
bro, that was like, this guy just skipped so fucking hard. What was that? Yo, like, that was on replay right there. Like, you know, when the record catches a groove on some old school vinyls and it just keeps moving the needle back and it just keeps replaying the same fucking thing over and over again. That's what happened to him. He really fucking got caught. He didn't know what to say there. I got to hear that shit again.
allegedly having an underage sexual relationship for having sexual relationship with a 17-year-old girl who says that she paid her
Correct, 17.
that he paid $10,000 over a 2-year period. Whether that's true or not, we don't know, but that's something that's really brought in a lot of coverage. I think that you may have a situation, this could be the first time since Charles Warren in 1925, when Calvin Coolidge nominated him for Attorney General, and it turned out that he had improper relations with the Sugar Trust, that you may have a Senate of the own party of the president voting against the confirmation of somebody that the president nominates, with obviously the Senate being controlled by the.
For us, it's just about how can you back up your freedom. Like, if someone's trying to take, we've always thought about it as like, you're always trying to take away our freedom. What can we do to protect ourselves in order to keep our freedom? Hence why we're still number one in the world, right? Yeah.
Republicans. So that's one possibility. I think it was certainly very surprising. I think Dr. Oz at Health and as being in charge of Medicare and Medicaid, I think that's usually someone who's more of an administrator that takes over a position like that. It's not really somebody who's kind of famous or who's really known very well, and that's what's happened over there. So those are the ones that have really kind of surprised me. And frankly, Marco Rubio is Secretary of State, because Donald Trump is very much a non-interventionist in foreign policy. He wants to retrench from many places. Marco Rubio, his former opponent in 2016, is someone who's very much an interventionist and very hawkish. So when you give the most powerful position in the cabinet to someone who really disagrees and's been kind of a critic of your foreign policy, I think that really puts a lot of head scratching.
I want to go in reverse a little bit and talk more about the confirmation hearings themselves, because when do we expect those to get underway? Do we have any idea just yet?
What's up, my man? Hey, man. What's up? You got your flippity floppies on, man? Good to see you, kind sir. Oh, you always brighten my day.
I've mentioned it a few times, but Inauguration Day is 2 months away. So when do these confirmation hearings begin? And then also, do we get to watch them, the public?
Usually, yes, you do. And usually it's before the inauguration. And usually they're relatively pro forma, because usually the Senate accedes to the president in terms of what the president wants, who the president wants to nominate. Oftentimes a nomination will pass, like Janet Reno, for example. When Clinton nominated it, this was a third chance for Attorney General. It was 98-0. That means the most conservative senators like Jesse Helms from North Carolina would vote for it. It's very rare to have senators that vote against confirmation picks, especially certainly in their own party and sometimes in the other party as well, or you may have 2 or 3. But this time, because Donald Trump is such a lightning rod, such a polarizing or controversial figure.
I see that one, Road Rage. Yeah, that's crazy, because before this, I haven't seen any of your comments before. Only one in the beginning when you're saying good morning.
Well, I can see a scenario where some Republicans rather, may vote against the president's nomination. Of course, the president has the option, and you have to talk with John Thune, the incoming Senate Majority Leader, about this.
Yeah, I have to agree with that, Baba Penguin. You know, in my opinion, most of what has been picked so far is the A team. Like, I don't know if you really could. I know people would argue that, but I really don't think that you could have really gone much better in picks, for real.
At recesses for 10 days, he can then make a recess appointment, which will last until the end of the current Senate term. So that would essentially be up till the end of 2026.
You kind of touched on this already, but I want to dig a little bit deeper here, because now that Republicans are in control of the Senate, does that change anything overall about the confirmation hearings and that how they play out?
I don't think so, because usually whoever the president nominates gets confirmed. It's very rare that the person does not get confirmed. And once in a while, you'll have a scenario like with Tom Dassel, for example, where the person will will take their hat out of the ring, kind of, if you will, before they actually go to Senate confirmation, so they don't embarrass themselves and don't embarrass.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about that Oz situation, that pick. I have no idea. I don't actually know the background of dude
president, but that's really what you see. You're going to see a scenario, I think, where most nominees will get confirmed.
Pitbull just came in hot real quick, by the way. Pitbull sending in 5 pounds, man, saying, remember to rev that like button and drop the clutch on the share button to wheel spin the show out of here, and hope you're all okay and having a great day, man. And that's fantastic right there. Thank you so much for, look, that probably turns into like $9 US over here. So, hey, I appreciate you, kind sir. Thank you for your patronage all the way over there in England.
Pretty much, pretty unreservedly. There are going to be some exceptions. Matt Gaetz is certainly one of them. I think that the Senate wants to see once the Senate Judiciary Committee wants to see what the Ethics Committee had, what their report would have said, for example. So that's one that's going to be very controversial. And there's always one or two that kind of take you by. They're very kind of surprising, if you will, or there's something that you find out about somebody that you never really knew beforehand.
By the way, Martin, we have an immense community here, that the Breakfast Club here, and they're extremely generous, dude, like extremely, with like gifted memberships, helping out the community, everyone being involved. Man, it's something that it blows me away. I'm going to be real. It actually like makes me beside myself. So yeah, they're very selfless, man. So I appreciate anybody that thanks anytime they get a gifted membership. People are spending their own money to like help out you guys as well, you know, and help me out too. So I very much appreciate all of you guys.
Of course, they have investigations internally in the administrations, and they try to find this out, the incoming administrations. But sometimes there's stuff that just kind of goes by the wayside, if you will.
My last question for you. We've talked a lot about Trump, but you have to remember there are still 2 months in Biden's term here. So I've talked to a lot of political experts and asked their opinion. I want to get your take as well. What do we expect from Biden in his final 2 months?
Yo, we got a gifted membership already coming out. We got 2 of them, actually. Pitbull coming in hot, gifting out 1. As well as Brother Shadow on the double end, man. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are getting some memberships today. I very much appreciate you, Pitbull, as well as Shadow. Thank you guys so much.
Office.
It's very interesting. We don't know, of course. He needs Senate. He needs congressional approval if he wants to. If he wants to have a major piece of legislation. I mean, it would have to be passed during the lame duck session. There's certainly judicial nominees that he's getting passed right now that Chuck Schumer is trying to bring through so that he can have more judicial nominees than Donald Trump did last time around. There's that type of thing. Sometimes presidents, it's just more of a transition. It's more, they spend a lot of time on the transition, not necessarily with new initiatives. Bill Clinton was kind of an exception to that rule. He had promised on kind of this low water mark on the day that the House impeached him that he would work to the last hour of the last day as administration. Consequently, he did work on the last hour of the last day, and actually every day from January 14th to about January 20th had a new announcement. And the last day of his administration, he actually made an announcement that he was doing some crime control funding and where that was going to neighborhood watchdog groups. So the president has some power. They can certainly do some executive orders, but the new president can also rescind those. The president took a foreign trip, met with some leaders, and that's met some leaders in Central America. So that's something that any president can do. But I think that
wrap it up, homeboy, wrap it up. You know, this guy now is on some prattles time. Like, all right, good job doing what you needed to do there. You stuttered like a motherfucker. Now move the fuck on, you know? But hey, whatever. I'm not the one on there. So, but I do want to hear about what's going on with the embassy in Kyiv right now.
We're probably looking to the next administration. There probably wasn't that much that he could have really accomplished outside of just having kind of a goodwill tour, if you will.
All right. Rich Rubino, as always, thank you so much for providing that expertise. We appreciate it. Anything else you want to add about any of this? Obviously, a lot to discuss, but anything you want to add before I let you go?
I would just say that it is almost universal that a president...
By the way, good morning to Storm and Norman. Appreciate you for being here this morning, kind sir.
Especially if they have a Senate that's in their own party, that their nominations get confirmed. It was literally 199 years, it'll be 100 years since there was somebody who was not confirmed and had members of their own party, and that was and it would actually pass. He actually failed by one.
Hit that like button, y'all.
Warren for Attorney General. So My guess is that Matt Gaetz would probably be the only one that would be that controversial to the extent that he might not actually get chosen. That being said, there's only 53 Republican senators, and you have Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, who are very moderate, who might scuttle the process. Then you have Tom Tillis of North Carolina, who's up for re-election in 2026 and what's really a purple state, wants to show some independent bona fides. And Congress Senator Cassidy.
Dude, I didn't even know he drank last night, by the way, Bob. I had no idea. I didn't think he was drinking like for real.
Louisiana is somebody who's voted against, who voted for rather the conviction of Donald Trump. So he's no friend of Donald Trump. So I can see potentially those 4 Republicans being kind of recalcitrant to, if you will, toward the president's wishes. And there really are no Democrats like a John Tester or a Joe Manchin, kind of a moderate type Democrat left that you potentially would vote for the president's agenda or the president's confirmation choices.
Rich Rubino, as always, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Have a good rest
Thank
of your
you
day.
for wrapping
Thank
that
you so
up.
much. You as well.
Thank you for wrapping that bitch up. Man, that motherfucker has some prattle going on over there. We got Pitbull coming in hot with another $2, man, over there. British pounds. Okay. It's a pleasure and honor to be a part of this family. He used honor. Okay. The proper English spelling, not American spelling, by the way. Thank you, kind sir. As well as we got brother Chris Lestrange up in the building. He says, yo, Mike, you damn legend. I'm watching your ass. No, I'm watching. I appreciate you for being here, kind sir. It's always awesome hanging out with you on just watching the panels, being a part of the chat, man. It's something that originally where I came from, you know, everyone I think that is really about content creating started in the chat. That's what I believe. But yeah, we got Tats gifting out a membership over there in England as well to you guys. Make sure if you guys get a gifted membership to thank the people that are gifting them out. They're very selfless, helping out the show, man. Thank you very much. And remember, if you guys got a gifted membership every single Saturday morning, 10 a.m. CST, Central Standard Time, same time that we go live Monday through Friday. Okay. But we have a members only live stream for you guys where we get to get down with ourselves and say a little bit more than we usually get to. So, hey, appreciate you guys. Also, make sure to hit that like button, man. Appreciate it. Let's go.
Well,
and want to take you back out live to this shot of the Capitol building as we talked a lot about those confirmation hearings. Once we get word on specific dates and things of that nature, we'll make sure to let you know right there at home. And we're going to bring those to you in full here on Live Now from Fox. As we do, we are live, raw, and unfiltered. Do have to head to a quick break now.
No, we don't.
6:13 on the East.
No, we do not.
Dozens of first.
All right, we got a fire. I do want to check that out.
On Live Now from Fox, the time 6:15 on the East Coast and 3:15 on the West Coast. You are taking a look at some of the video coming in from our Fox 2 Detroit team as dozens of first responders were on the scene of this massive fire. This is over in Walden, which is in Orion Township, after what police say was an explosion. You can see the flames there on your screen. Do want to go over live to Robin Murdoch. She is with our Fox 2 Detroit team to break down the latest. Good morning, Robin. And I can see, of course, some of that damage right there behind you.
Yeah, Josh, the damage is pretty significant out here. I just want to give you kind of a lay of the land so you have a good idea as to where we are. So we're in Orion Township.
No kidding right there, Papa. 100%. He says, I have zero sympathy, by the way. Zero. Sympathy for anyone in the mainstream media space. The industry, that industry is nothing but propaganda divorced from objective truth. Big fucking W for Papa. Exactly why we do what we do right here. You know, this is for people that seek the truth. Anytime that, this is where we can actually break down what the mainstream is saying. And when they're capping, we get to call them out and say, no, you cap. Hey, stop the cap, motherfucker.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, this is what I love about this shit right here.
About 45 minutes or so north of Detroit. And when you get to a scene like this, obviously very dark, hard to really get a good assessment as to what you're dealing with. But just looking around briefly, the damage is really significant out
What's
here.
up,
I'm going to
Jason?
step out of the way. And once the sun
Look at
does
that
come
shit.
up in a couple of hours.
And her microphone's kind of fucked up, by the way. It's her connection or whatever the case is that you're hearing.
Here, I'm sure we are
That
going to
does
get a
suck right
whole
there.
new perspective as to what emergency crews dealt with out here last night. So at this point, we
Had to be in a woman's house.
that 2 people in their 70s were critically injured after an explosion at a condo complex here in Orion Township. Several others were hurt, but their injuries are considered
That's
minor.
right, Lee.
The blast, though, could be heard and felt for several miles. That is just how powerful it was out here. Now, this all happened around dinner time last night, right around 6:30 or so. This is at the Keatington condos here in Orion Township. And we were told that one building was leveled in this blast. It was completely destroyed, another heavily damaged, and then several others saw minor damage. And we're talking about glass windows and doors that were shattered as a result of this massive explosion. The cause believed to be a gas leak at this point. Again, 2 people critically injured, handful of others had minor injuries. Just a frightening experience for everyone.
Hey, we gotta allow mom to do what she wants to do. She wants to be an independent, strong woman. You know, Pablo, you know, stop the cap. Allow mom
Stop the cap.
to be, you know, that strong, independent woman. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect it.
Everyone involved. Take a listen.
I was on the computer.
There she is.
And there was a shockwave. The screen popped out at me, and everything came off the walls. Ran outside and saw that the corner unit was just gone.
You see the community already coming out, and multiple churches have opened their doors to take in people that are being displaced. This is, you know, we hate these opportunities. We hate when these things happen, but this is what our team trains for.
Yeah.
And this is another live look at the scene here in Orion Township, the scene of an explosion at a condo complex that did injure 2 people in their 70s. Just a number.
Damn, that sucks. How the fuck did you guys not feel or see the fire and then get the hell out? So it did injure 2 people, and they were in their 70s. That's really shitty news, dude.
Of fire departments nearby. They actually responded to this. It really was an all hands on deck type of effort. There were a couple of different churches in the area that also opened their doors, as you just heard, just to give people a little bit of comfort and give them some place to go, the people who were impacted by this. Again, the cleanup is going to be great out here, and we're going to have a better idea of the destruction, of course, when the sun does rise. But just a devastating situation that they are dealing with here in Orion Township. I'm Robin Murdoch. I'll send it back to you, Josh.
All right, Robin Murdoch there with our Fox 2 Detroit team. As always, thank you so much for being here with us to provide the latest. We appreciate it.
Move on to the embassy, cuh.
And as she mentioned there, a lot of information is coming in. So I do want to send you over to a news conference only about 5 minutes in length that was held here several hours ago as investigators were on the scene trying to piece all of this together. Again, it's only about 5 minutes in length. So I'm going to play that for you right now here on Live Now from Fox.
Consumers Energy in order to control a gas-fed fire that is on the one side of the building. I know that we've had some footage.
Look at that one.
They're having to excavate into the ground in order to access it. Unfortunately, it's just one of those unusual situations that's difficult to get to.
Yes, it was caused by a gas leak. That's what their claim is.
So we're working with them in order to make the scene safe. We're providing a water suppression so their crews can work, and they'll be able to get that under control. From what we can tell, we've put drones in the air in order to be able
I got
to
down with my bad self.
Minimal fire throughout the rest of the building. Our plan right now is once the fire is out, the fire crews will make sure that the fire has completely been extinguished. We're working with the Oakland County Technical Rescue Team in order to be able to fly drones through the structure in order to be able to do a primary search and survey for victims. We currently have 2 people that are unaccounted for. We do have names, and we're trying to make contact with those people.
You'll make money.
So far have been unsuccessful. So that effort is still going to continue. Meanwhile, we're hoping to be able to get some drone footage in there.
Man, Dirty, you already know the deal. Shit. You know they're going to be blaming Trump for literally everything. Come on, man. Come on. The liberal tears are insane. But luckily, we're thirsty out here. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit! We're going to be able to take a good look. And then we'll work with the technical rescue team in order to be able to actually put people in order to verify that either there is somebody or isn't somebody in that building.
So obviously you got something pretty serious here with 2 people on account of
correct. There could be fatalities. We are working actually under the presumption that somebody could be trapped in
Man, that sounds bomb. You guys are talking about some fucking decent food in the chat right now. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous right now. I'm gonna be honest. You and Lee Lance, you guys are getting crazy already.
Structure. When we see gas explosions like this, sometimes we see where that building has collapsed in on itself, and we have some of it's trapped in a pocket or something like that. So without being able to make contact with those people, that's the presumption that we're taking at the moment. So it's still a rescue here and not a recovery.
That's terrible.
We're not calling them fatalities. We're calling them missing people because there is still a possibility that either they've exited the building, weren't in the building in the first place.
So they're not even okay, they don't even know where the people are. That's fucked. So they're not calling it they're just calling it missing persons at the moment. What? That's crazy.
Or that we'll find them when we make entry with people later on tonight.
Ages, gender, anything on
This is
that
fucked.
we're willing to release at the time. Again, we're trying to make contact with them through any mean that we have at the moment. So other than that, we're working, as you can see, with a variety of different agencies. We anticipate being here throughout the night.
Good. Your health is number one, Straight Jacket. Make sure you get the extra, the bacon on top of the donut, those maple bars that have the bacon on top. Make sure you get one of those too.
Continue the rescue efforts.
Have you experienced anything like this in your career?
Unfortunately, yes. We've done similar things like this before. We're just kind of going through a standard checklist of things that we do that we know are successful. So we're still hoping for good outcomes in the end of this. And like I said, we're still operating as though this is a rescue and not a recovery.
I met the Tapatio man. I dated my first ex, I guess in adulthood. I was 18, 19, 20, 21 or whatever, in that time frame. Her mom worked in Downey, and she still works at that very office. She works at a doctor's office, and one of her patients was the Tapatio dude, which is crazy. I actually got a whole box full of Tapatio shit, coasters and stickers and humongous bottles of Tapatio. I have all sorts of weird shit. Yeah, interesting. Small world.
Gas for sure.
I love Tapatio too.
Not sure exactly what it is initial, but we're not willing to claim anything. Our inspectors, we're working with the sheriff's office. Nobody has been able to get in there to make any kind of investigation at the moment. So
we've heard there may be a hero of sorts, an Amazon driver who was right at the house right before the explosion, or maybe even helped rescue somebody. Have you heard?
Possible, but nothing that's been reported yet. Right. Usually those stories don't come until sometime midday tomorrow before we get those pieces worked out.
You said 2 critical, and how many others are also in the hospital?
We transported 2 people off the scene. Anybody else that was what we call a walk?
Look at those female firefighters, Anson says.
Wounded, they were able to self-extricate and get, but we've only transported 2 people.
I'll hold my tongue on that.
And then Supervisor, could we ask you what it's like to see everybody hard at work tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible teamwork. Our people are the best in the business, and see the community already coming out. And multiple churches have opened their doors to take in people that are being displaced.
$30 of free donuts, bruh. That's a lot that's a lot. That's you probably got 4 dozen donuts, dude. What's going on?
This is, we hate these opportunities. We hate when these things happen, but this is what our team trains for. We've had a similar experience like this a few years ago. So we're prepared to handle this situation, and we're so grateful for the support of our surrounding community departments and the already outpouring of support from the greater community looking to help these people. So,
any more updates tonight, or do we think that'll be early morning?
Give me about 45 minutes, and I'll tell you if there's going to be another update or not. I mean, I hate to kind of put you on that limbo, but that's where I'm at.
And you said Woodside?
Woodside
Church.
So they're on Joslin Road. So Woodside Church is at Canterbury Village, just about a mile from here, north and east. And they immediately opened their doors. We had the North Oakland Transportation Authority buses here picking up folks and taking them to Woodside. Since that point, I just talked to the pastor of Woodside. There's no one there at this time.
Evidently, Steve. Yeah, he's definitely got some good, left-handed tobacco going on with the mixture of his 4 dozen donuts now.
So people were able to get relatives and friends and family to pick them up, but they're still there if need be, and we're here to help people if they need it. So.
Thank you.
All right, what you were listening to right there was a news conference with officials that were on the scene. That was right after.
Well, at least we got to figure out what's going on over there. Jesus.
All of this really happened. So as you could hear, there were still 2 people that were unaccounted for. But as Robin
missing persons
reported from the scene about 5 minutes ago, those 2 people are now confirmed to be critically injured. An investigation.
Oh, okay. So this was from a little bit earlier. Okay, I understand. And then the report right before this, that's where they found the 2 elderly people in their 70s. Those were the 2 missing accounted people where they were in their 70s, and they were hurt. They were hurt. Unfortunately, they were injured. Now, luckily, they didn't die or anything, but man, that's brutal.
Underway. But if you're looking on the right-hand side of your screen there, you can see some of the video of the aftermath. We are working with our Fox 2 Detroit team to get the latest details, and we'll bring you those updates right here on Live Now from Fox. Do you want to head to a quick 2-minute commercial break now?
No,
at 6:24?
No, you get to do that. We get to skip through that. We don't get paid for that bullshit. All right, now we finally get to move over to the U.S. Embassy and why it closed in Kyiv, all right? This is the main topic of discussion here, okay? This is what I labeled this show. So everyone, I mean, this is me being honest. I have not watched this yet, so I'm going to be watching this with you guys, getting basically a live reaction right here, right now. And the original House hearing that we were supposed to review this morning, of course, got delayed. So we'll probably be doing that tomorrow. They probably are delaying that until tomorrow. But nonetheless, now we get to figure out what's going on with the U.S. Embassy over in Kyiv and why they shut down and over their threats and fear of Russia. So let's go ahead and discuss it. Let's figure it out.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, 627 on the East Coast and 327 on the West Coast. You are taking a live look over in Kyiv, Ukraine. You can see the flags that are flying there in the distance. I believe this is outside of the U.S. Embassy.
It is.
As we are following a developing story here, the U.S. and some other Western embassies in Kyiv said that they're going to stay closed all throughout the day today for security reasons, with the American delegation saying that it received a warning of a potentially significant Russian air attack on the capital of Ukraine. Now, the precautionary step came after Russian officials promised a response to President Biden's decision to let Ukraine strike targets on Russian soil with American-made missiles.
Yeah, stupid ass. What do you expect?
Stupid.
You know, what is Putin going to, do as soon as they hear, oh, yeah, Biden says, Ukraine can launch some long-range missiles at us now. Like, man, stop that shit. What do you expect is going to happen? Yeah, there's going to be some problems. I don't understand why they want to cause. It seems like Biden specifically. I'm not even going to pin this on the Dems. It seems like Biden specifically wants World War III. What do you guys think? It just seems like he wants it. Right before it ends, for all goes down, he's no longer a part of the Obama administration. It's all passed down. It's gone. What is happening here?
It's a move that did anger Vladimir Putin. The U.S. Embassy said its closure and attack warning were issued in the context of ongoing Russian missile and drone attacks on Kyiv, and anticipated a quick return to regular operations in a matter of hours. The Italian and Greek embassies also shutting to the public.
Man,
for the
Carney,
day,
you're right.
The UK government said that its embassy will remain open. The war, which did reach its 1,000-day milestone yesterday, has taken on a growing international dimension with the arrival of North Korean troops to help Russia on the battlefield, a development that U.S. officials said prompted Biden's new policy shift. Jennifer Griffin with Fox News has much more on the latest coming in out of Ukraine.
Ukraine
Look at that
struck
shit.
military targets inside Russia for the first time using U.S.-provided long-range strike fires known as ATACMS. Hours later, in response...
What's up,
Russian...
Seymour? Good morning, kind sir. Good to see you.
President Vladimir Putin signed a new nuclear doctrine,
What up,
lowering
Melba?
the Kremlin's threshold to use
Good morning.
tactical nuclear weapons. He had warned he would do so in September if the U.S. permitted Ukraine to strike Russian territory.
It is a signal that they want to escalate the conflict, and it is
Copy.
impossible to use these high-tech missiles without the Americans. Putin has said this many times.
The Pentagon says it has seen no change to Russia's nuclear posture, despite its saber rattling.
We don't have any indications that Russia is preparing to use a nuclear weapon.
Thank you. I will check that out for damn sure.
Within
Steve.
Ukraine, we don't see any changes that need to be made to our own nuclear posture.
The pre-dawn attack struck a military.
If you guys are just tuning in right now, make sure you guys hit that like button, y'all. Appreciate you guys. It is the #1 metric of all of YouTube, and it's free to do so, man. And by the way, we are, of course, going to be in every single one of these super chats, all of that kind of stuff is all going to be shouted out. If you guys would like to interject in the conversation, I'm reading everything out loud.
Facility in the
Appreciate you guys, man.
region of southwest Russia, just north of Kursk, where 11,000 North Korean troops are preparing to attack Ukraine.
That's right, Dwayne.
When President Zelensky visited the White House in September,
Zelensky.
he asked
What a
President
fake.
Biden to lift the restriction, a request Biden rebuffed
Of course, he's going to ask for the lift of restrictions there.
for more than a year, fearing an escalation with Russia.
So now, so Biden was fearful of an escalation with Russia back then. Oh, now he's on his way out. Hey, I'm not so worried anymore. Go ahead and, start using long-range missiles, and we give you the ALK. Man, this shit is crazy.
Oh, shit! Oh,
Shit. I think we all know what's happening here.
has led to a tense situation in Europe. On Monday, Sweden distributed millions of pamphlets on wartime preparation, updating the In Case of Crisis or War Guide to reflect the worsening security situation. The revised version is now twice as long as it was 6 years ago. The White House is
What's
expected
up, War
to
Gorilla?
announce
Good
another
morning.
$275 million weapons package for Ukraine, part of the $60 billion supplemental passed by Congress last spring. The weapons will come from existing U.S. stockpiles and will include the HIMAR rocket launching system, artillery shells, drones, and Javelin missiles.
That's exactly what it is, by the way. Yep.
At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Jennifer, thank you so much. And as yesterday did mark that 1,000-day
Chris
milestone
W., what's up, man?
of the war in Ukraine, we did
good to
have
see you,
Trey
man. Hopefully you're having
Hicks,
a good
who's
one.
Constant guest on this show. He spoke one-on-one with Ukraine's president.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ukraine is oh, come on, man. We know what Ukraine really is. It's a money laundering country for the United States. And not necessarily United States. I would definitely say for Biden. Facts. Mm-hmm.
Zelensky. I want to play that for you right now here on Live Now from Fox.
President Zelensky, thank you for speaking with Fox News. Thank you very much.
It would go into full on nuclear warfare at that point. I don't think that Putin really wants to use nuclear weapons. I think that if you leave Russia alone, they'll leave you alone. That's really what I believe. I don't have any other reason to think otherwise. I'm not saying that Putin is a good guy. He definitely is not, and he shouldn't be treated as a good guy. But at the very minimal is we've got to deal with people like this. Kim Jong-un being another one of them. North Korea. We do not believe in anything that they have in the ideology department of that, right? But you have to deal with them. You can't just pretend that they're not there, right? You have to work with them. And so learning how to have these I guess, working relationships, it's very difficult to do. You need to very much be a people person and understand how business works. And hence why, I mean, we just saw Hezbollah yesterday do a ceasefire plan over to Israel. Now all this, I mean, just the night before they lobbed over 100 missiles into Israel. And now all of a sudden, hey, we want a ceasefire. Oh yeah, I wonder fucking why.
Thanks, Fox News, that you're here. Today, you and I visited the eastern front lines. Your soldiers are currently repelling Russian attacks at multiple different locations. It's been 1,000 days since the invasion began. How would you describe the current state of the war?
Very difficult period. Really, sometimes we compare, is it the most difficulties or not? I think the most difficult was the first days of the war. because we've been, circle of Russian troops was around the capital, and mostly Ukraine was occupied. Not all our country, but everybody didn't know what will be. Yes, I think that was the most difficult period. But now, this period, this moment depends, I think, on our unity in Ukraine. And I think that what is very dangerous if we will lose unity in Europe, and what is most important, unity between Ukraine and the United States.
Last week, you criticized German Chancellor Olaf Scholz for speaking on the phone with Russian President Putin.
I'm not very sure about that, but like, for instance, Israel is fighting like an 8-war front. You know what I mean? Like, that's brutal. Now, a lot of these wars are proxy wars, right? So you're going to have, like, for instance, Ukraine and Russia. That's a proxy war. Believe it or not, what's going on, it's about to spark off real bad in Haiti and Dominican Republic. I mean, these are all proxy problems. Same thing with Israel. That's an axis of resistance. That's what it's called. And yeah, it's nonstop war. It's just nonstop the clash of ideologies. And money, what they can make out of a situation, right?
I knew that he'd make a call. We had a meeting.
That's a big one too, Steve.
He's going to. And I told him that, according to...
Yes, that is correct, Frank. Now, here's where Zelensky's fucking up. The truth is Zelensky's the one that fucked up. I hate to be that guy. But when Putin says, all right, you guys already took this issue right here. You guys took our land. You invaded. You took some shit. If you go any further, we are going to fuck you up. So why would they continue pushing forward? You're like asking for the issue. And then you're running to America asking for our aid in your bullshit. It's fucked up. And what does a proxy war mean? Essentially, when they're right next to each other, like you got Russia and Ukraine, they're the only thing separating them on their land is just an invisible border. Same thing with Dominican Republic and Haiti. They're connected on an island. You've got Israel, where you've got so much around Israel. It's when you have very close problems by your neighbors, essentially.
My opinion, that is really a Pandora's box. Putin's isolation
and that too
is also the pressure against him. We fight not only by weapons, as you properly said, by diplomacy. Diplomacy is so important, and only diplomacy can end this war.
But, sir, how can you have diplomacy without talking?
No, we're talking. But after what will be soon. What Chancellor got after phone call? Nothing new.
And so your position right now is that Western leaders should not be speaking with Putin?
Intelligence of Western leaders, they had contact on the level of intelligence during this war with Russian side. They had a lot. Europe, United States, everybody they had. But it was not, against the political isolation of Putin. It was on the level of intelligence. Why? Because you have not recognized.
Between me and everyone in the chat, we know fucking everything. Hey, I coined that from BD. I like that. It's very true.
Putin as the president, because he is a killer. Otherwise, you will destroy this political isolation.
But isn't Putin the only one who can make the decision to end this war?
I'm sure that as of today, it depends on Putin. Really, a lot.
Stop the cap, yo.
He can be willing and end this war. But
stop pushing then, Zelensky. Stop trying to take over the land that they gave you in the first fucking place.
Also depends on the United States of America.
I don't get
much more. Putin is weaker than...
Like, what does Zelensky actually want? Because it's not peace. It's not peace. What does he actually want? That's the question.
The United States of America. The president of the United States of America has the strength and authorities and the weapons.
Listen, the chat always wins. The chat always takes the W every single time, every day. Just is what it is, man.
And he can decrease the price for the energy resources. By the way, I heard this signal from the media from President Trump that he is thinking to decrease the price for energy sources, for oil. And it is needed to be done.
Are you hopeful that President-elect Trump will be able to influence Putin to end the war?
It will be not simple.
Yo, real quick, my man Blair coming in hot with the $1.99 US. I love me some American money, man. Yeah. See, Chad always wins and knows all. That's a mega fact, man. Just is what it is. We accept the things we cannot change, right? Right? We just do that. Yeah. Good job, everybody. Appreciate you, Blair. Thank you, kind sir.
But I think if to use all the issues
Facts,
what
Steve,
United
facts.
States has, yes, he can, because he is much more stronger than Putin. He's stronger. United States stronger.
What's up, Danny?
Stronger. Money, big money. United States has very big influence.
I want to ask you about some comments you made regarding possible negotiations last week. You said the U.S. can't force you to sit at the negotiating table. What if the U.S.
Please stop the cap? We can absolutely force you to.
government cuts military funding to Ukraine?
If they will cut, I think we will lose. Of course, anyway, we will stay, we will fight. We have our production, but it's not enough to prevail. And I think it's not enough to survive. But that will be, if such choice will be American choice. So we will decide what we will have to do, what we'll do. I think this is the most dangerous things to do.
Where is he sitting right now, by the way, Zelensky? That looks like some fucking bunker underground. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
To freeze support or not, to
It
continue.
looks like bus seats, you know, on one of those yellow buses, school buses. Look, it's even got like some like glass in between this. What is this, like bulletproof glass or something?
It to increase it or decrease. But I think when you do such steps, you have to know what you will do after this.
Reports do indicate President Biden has given you limited permission to use these U.S.-supplied long-range missiles, specifically in the Kursk region.
Oh, they're
region
literally on a
where-
fucking train. That's what's happening. Actually, you called it. He's on a subway train. You can hear the tracks in the background. Oh my fucking God. Listen to that.
supplied long-range missiles, specifically in the
Oh my
Kursk
God.
region, a region where we now understand North Korean troops are staging alongside
This is
the Russians
crazy.
to fight your soldiers.
I can share with you not all the details really, but
See you, Danny.
yes,
Appreciate you,
we
my
have
man.
this dialogue, and this dialogue began to be more warmer. But I'm very honest with you. If we have permission plus missiles, you will hear the result on the battlefield. So for today, we didn't use it.
So you're saying
For
you don't
today.
have enough ATACMS right now to start using them against Russia?
Something like this.
Reports indicate that just hours after we spoke with President Zelensky, he ordered a long-range missile attack against Russia using U.S.-supplied ATACMS. In Kyiv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
Trey, thank you so much for that report. And again, you are taking a live look over Kyiv there in Ukraine on the right-hand side of your screen. That is
I still want to know the exact threat, that the reason why they shut down today. We have yet to hear that. Now, obviously, we were focusing on Zelensky and what he had to say on the fucking train. I want to hear about the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv and Ukraine. I want to know what's going on over there.
outside of the U.S. Embassy, where we do know that they are closed throughout the day, expected to resume operations tomorrow at this point. The reason for that closure, the U.S. says, is because there are concerns that there could be a major attack from Russia. We'll keep you updated on all of that and other.
Where do they get that information from? Just because of what's going on? I mean, I understand why it's happening, but I want to hear the mainstream media talk about it.
For international headlines right here on Live Now from Fox. Do have to head to a quick break now.
No, we don't.
It's 6:37 on the East Coast, and
we don't have to do shit.
The latest on President-elect Trump. As we've mentioned here, we do know, of course, that Inauguration Day is 2 months from today. We're going to have...
Wow. Only 2 months to go. That's so long. Do you know what can happen in 2 fucking months? A lot of shit can fucking hit the fan in 2 months, man. I'm really, really hoping that this shit gets settled quick. Not for the sake of, Trump or anybody or Biden. Honestly, for the American people. That's what I really hope for, is that we have some peace in this shit. But obviously, evidently, we're not going to see peace in none of this shit. Come on, man. This is crazy.
All kinds.
I definitely condemn all the fucking actions that Biden's doing right now, though.
Coverage right here on Live Now from Fox as that does get underway. In the meantime, do want to send it over to Connor Hansen. He has much more on Trump's new administration picks and where everything goes from here.
Mr. President, are you reconsidering the nomination of Matt Gaetz?
No. President-elect Trump took questions about his
should they be open for business? What up, Gerald?
General.
I mean, they definitely probably should not be, right? Definitely not at this point. In my opinion, shut that shit down. That's between, I guess, my own personal thoughts,
After
right?
Watching a SpaceX rocket launch
I agree with you.
Elon
Good morning,
Musk.
though, Gerald.
While a House ethics report on Gates has not been released, some
Be
witness
safe out there, brother Steve. It sounds like we're going to go ahead and discuss a little bit of Matt Gaetz for the ending of this stream. You know what I mean? We're going to be discussing a little bit of Matt Gaetz, it looks like.
testimony has come out, reportedly after a hack.
She testified to the House that as she was walking out to the pool area, she turned to her right and she witnessed her friend having sex with Representative Gates. And her friend at that time was 17.
That attorney says his client testified that Gates did not know the girl was underage at the time. The news came on another day packed with more cabinet picks.
See, Dirty's got the right idea. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got some left-handed tobacco and some drinks. Yeah.
He wants TV host Dr. Mehmet Oz to run the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And Howard Lutnick, the investment banker helping run the Trump transition, was picked for Secretary of Commerce. During the campaign, Lutnick showed his alignment with Trump's economic policies.
What specific thing are you talking about? What we're watching right now? This is only 5 hours ago. This is live right now. This live stream is still live right now, going on into this morning right now, live. So yeah, this is only 5 hours ago.
125 years ago, we had no income tax. All we had was tax.
Absolutely, Brother Lee. Be good out there. Hopefully, you stay safe out there. And hopefully, you were saying you don't feel too well. Hopefully, you feel better too, man. Fuck.
And we had so much money.
Oh, now I know what you're discussing. Okay, never mind.
Transition co-chair Linda McMahon was selected for Secretary of Education. Still open is one
I think it was 2020.
The most high-profile spots, Treasury Secretary. Vice President-elect Vance plans to be on Capitol Hill this week with new cabinet picks, including Matt Gaetz, while they meet with key GOP senators. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
That dude is
another
weird.
Live look over the Capitol building.
I've never seen that reporter, by the way.
Here in D.C. is House.
I actually don't watch quote unquote Fox News. What I watch is Fox Live Now. Fox Live Now, in my opinion, is the best news source because there's really, aside from the guests they bring on, they're not opinionated. They just fucking explain what is happening in the moment. That's why I really respect that kind of shit. That guy was actually from Fox.
Democrats and Republicans are at odds over the bathroom rights of the nation's first transgender member of Congress.
What?
Mark Meredith has more on that for us.
Yikes.
I mean, it's just disgusting. I was actually sick to my stomach when I read that yesterday.
House Democrats are accusing their Republican rivals of bigotry amid a new effort to ban an incoming transgender.
Oh my God, bigotry. Yep. Let's go ahead and revert back into identity politics again. You would think the Dems would understand, it's evident with the way that the election came out in 2024. It's evident. People are sick and tired of your bullshit. They're sick and tired of playing these pronoun games, these identity politics. You're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're fucking transformer. Dude, we need to stop running politics basis off of who in the DEI process. Like, oh, we don't have enough black people. We need to get, no, we need to get the best people for the job. Fuck what the identity of that person is. I could care fucking less. It's about who can do the fucking job. Right? Like, what does it fucking matter to you if... I just don't understand it. If they can't do the job anyways, but they happen to be black, okay, maybe they're representing you in that moment. But if they're not well informed and they can't articulate themselves, can't actually make shit happen to better your own people, which they never do, by the way. They never do. They end up getting fucked in the end. And that's what's sad, is when people start looking for politics of what I can gain instead of the ideology of how can all of Americans as a blanket gain, not one side or the other, not one specific group to another, no favorites in any of this shit. I'm not sure exactly why we play these identity politics so much here.
Lawmaker Sarah McBride of Delaware from using the women's restroom because she was born a man.
This is your priority, that you want to bully a member of Congress as opposed to welcoming her?
McBride begins serving her term in January, and ahead of her arrival,
So, listen, if you're a transformer, I'm sorry, but you have mental health issues. Okay? If you have mental health issues, why would I want you in any position of power? At all. Like, give me a moral reason as to why we should, you know what I mean? Like, that's fucking crazy. It's absurd. To me, it's actually mental illness. But yet, we'll promote this. Sickening to me.
South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace introducing a resolution to ban any transgender woman from using the women's restroom. Mace says she's only trying to protect women's rights.
I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms.
I'm very surprised you made it through, Jason. Actually, you know what? It's because I know where you are. You're the minority. You're the minority as the white dude, you know? Yeah.
Rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
It is
Mace
Transformer.
admits opinions are mixed and claims she's even received death threats
Fucking
over the
crazy
measure.
topic.
Still, she says she won't back down.
This shouldn't be going
Be
on
good
on
out there,
federal
Joseph.
property. If you're a school or an institution that gets government funding, this kind of thing should be banned. I think it's sick. It's twisted.
House Speaker Mike Johnson, a staunch conservative Christian, has yet to say where he stands on the resolution.
This is an issue that Congress has never.
Yeah, you guys have not ever dealt with. And now how are you going to deal with it? Pretend like nothing's happening and don't have a stance on shit? The thing is, bro, people that don't take a stand on one side or the other, to me, they're suspicious. Anybody that's trying to play both sides of the fence, that is trying to cater to both audiences, I don't trust you. Like, I want to hear the real deal. Hell no, I don't believe in this shit. Because I know you got a stance, cuh. I want to hear it. But see, this is where they're pandering too much to individual people, handshakes that were made behind the scenes. I mean, politics is so fucking dirty. It's unreal.
I had to address before.
What's up, Moto
We're gonna
Noggin?
do that in deliberate
Good morning.
Fashion with member consensus on it.
Later, Johnson added to his remarks.
Let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman.
Mace says Republican leaders tell her they support the resolution and plan to consider it as part of a House rules package. If not, though, Mace says she plans to force a floor vote on it. In Washington, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Damn. Brutal.
Mark, thank you so much for that report. Time now, 6:44 on the East Coast and 3:44 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Wednesday, November 20th. I'm here for the next several hours to bring you all of your top stories
Xavier?
and live events from across the country and the world. We do have to sneak in our final 2-minute commercial break.
Nope. To me, that was good enough. That was perfect enough. We were able to gain the knowledge that we needed to understand what's going on actively right now in our world. listen, that's what we do every single day over here. We discuss geopolitics, world news, and everything that is going on in between. We definitely cover and highlight big world events, big, things that are happening. So with that being said, I cannot thank you guys enough for hanging out with me this beautiful, beautiful morning. And wherever the hell you guys are from, you guys, could be anywhere in the world, but you guys decided to be here, man. I can't thank you guys enough. And holy shit, did we just get a fucking raid, by the way? We did just get a raid. Holy shit. All right, hold on. I don't know from who yet, but thank you guys for coming in and hanging out with us. And listen, we were just about to raid Glenn Lawrence. Hopefully he wasn't the one that just raided me. Now, let me go ahead and check. I'm not going to end yet. I'm not going to do that to him. If he just raided, then we'll go ahead and do another cycle. He did. Holy shit. All right. We're getting back into this. Glenn saved the day on this. Yeah, he did it. So we'll go into the last news cycle, actually, believe it or not. He was going to have one more little cycle that he was going to discuss. And so we'll go ahead and get into that real quick. Figure out what's going on, because we've had a lot of shit going on in the news cycle right this second. And we have a lot. Last few weeks have been incredibly fucked. A lot of shit, a lot of money we're watching. People around the world, including the European Union just yesterday, that is essentially begging for more and more money. Well, Ukraine begging the EU and the parliament over there for more money, who we fund, by the way. We fund all this shit from NATO, the UN. We fund everything. And so ultimately, watching all of these countries beg for money last second, because I know Trump is about to take over, it's very ironic. It's just ironic. End of story. So let's go ahead and see the last cycle. Fuck it. We're doing our last cycle. Let's do it.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox, and you are taking a live look over New York City. That is Lady Liberty there.
Thank you, Brother Glenn, by the way, for the raid, man. Thank you for hanging out, and all of you guys that came in here, by the way. Make sure you guys hit the like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube, man. And also, if you're new here, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, man. I very much appreciate all of you guys and hanging out over here, man.
And our next story does take us there. New York prosecutors oppose an effort to dismiss President-elect Trump's hush money conviction, but say they're open to delay his sentencing until after his second term as president. In a court filing, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office said that Trump's presidency is not grounds for dropping a case that was already tried. Again, this is some of the video from inside the courtroom there as that trial was underway. They say, however, quote, given the need to balance competing constitutional interests, prosecutors say consideration must be given to potentially freezing the case until Trump is out of office.
Now exactly. Now, here's the thing. They may just be, I don't think it's case dismissed, Dirty, but what it is what he just said. It's frozen. It may be frozen. I don't know the ruling on that yet, but if it is frozen, that means that he will be attempted, or the charge will be attempted in 2028 when he gets out of office, which does make sense.
Had been set for next Tuesday, and his inauguration for his second term as commander-in-chief is set for January 20th. In the meantime, the president-elect's lawyers are fighting for the case to be tossed out altogether. Trump was convicted in May of falsifying business records to cover up a scheme to influence the 2016 election, and that included the payment of hush money to adult
What's up, Cuzzo? Good morning, kind sir.
Daniels, who claimed the two had a sexual encounter.
Be good, Brother Blair.
Judge Juan Merchan has not made a decision yet on the next steps in the case and has not said when he will make that decision. A lot to discuss, no question. Do want to bring in Robert McWhirter, a constitutional law
good as well, Bob,
and practicing criminal defense attorney. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us and help break it all down for us.
My pleasure.
All right, so first off, what are the potential implications, let's say?
How good is your hush money when the bitch won't shut the fuck up?
Judge Juan Merchan does choose
sit down and shut up.
That verdict stand.
Come on, man. Two things you can do.
Well, the implications are that you have a sitting president who is also a convict, a man who's got 34 felonies.
Wow, they're going to push it to 2029. Wow. I thought it was going to be 2028.
convictions.
Still crazy.
And I really get tired of using this term in context of Donald Trump, but this is just unprecedented. And we're kind of tired of saying it's unprecedented, but it's unprecedented. So this will be the first time that a sitting president is a convicted felon. That's the import of this.
Well, and as you said, unprecedented is a word that's used a lot, but I mean, in this case, it really is unprecedented. Despite prosecutors saying the case should not be thrown out, is that still something, in your expert opinion, that Mershon
Orange man bad, remember, they just try so fucking hard.
would even consider?
No, I don't think so. That argument that Trump's lawyers is pretty weak and pretty tenuous, really. It's based on a very small part of the Supreme Court's opinion, which itself is pretty dubious, to be perfectly honest with you, about presidential immunity. Part of the trial dealt, if you recall, with the testimony of Hope Hicks, which Donald Trump had while
no freaking kidding, Carney.
He was president. And the question is whether that little piece of evidence falls under the immunity opinion of the
You're not even joking straight.
And then whether that piece of evidence was
Evidently it didn't matter anyways. It didn't matter. The more and more shit that Trump went through and became more of like a quote unquote felon and all that bullshit, right? All the labels, going to court and all that just brought his popularity up with Americans anyways. They didn't give a fuck. I don't know why they keep pushing the issue, man.
So substantial that it affected the verdict. And I think all of those little steps are pretty difficult for the Trump lawyers to continue to win on. So I don't think that the case, the conviction will be thrown out per se. I do think that Donald Trump, in the normal course of his appeals, does have a couple fairly good issues on appeal. Not that they will win, but there are decent issues on appeal. But that's through the New York court stasis system, not asking that it be thrown out at the U.S. Supreme Court level.
And going a little bit deeper into that here, how might Mershon's ruling actually help define what is qualifying as a, quote, presidential act, which we know that the Supreme Court essentially left up to interpretation in its last ruling?
Yeah, you know, the interesting thing about the Supreme Court opinion is not only did it give a sweeping grant of immunity to the president of the United States, something I don't think the framers of the Constitution really intended ever, but it also gave an
Yep. You're very right about that.
incredible amount of power to itself, to the Supreme
I mean, look at what Hillary Clinton, Hillary did.
Court, the federal courts, to now define this scope of immunity. So now the Supreme Court has the power.
What's up, Todd J?
Do this in that
Good to
case,
see you, man.
or that case, etc. And that has been one of the many remarkable things about the Supreme Court opinion. This case in particular now gives the Supreme Court a chance to assert its power and define exactly the question you have asked.
By the way,
As of right now,
real quick, I got a funny ass Cash App that I got to go ahead and read. My bad, by the way. Straight Jacket sent this in a little bit ago, and I'll read it now. I'm like 20 minutes late on it, but he sent $1.25 to the Cash App saying, "For Zelensky has worms in his butt." Yikes! Shit, that shit's crazy.
We don't know just yet when Mershon will likely make that ruling, right? But we imagine it has to be fairly soon, considering Trump's inauguration is 2 months from today.
Yeah, he's kind of got a deadline looming, that's for sure. I think that ruling's going to come down pretty quickly. I mean, it is not.
Hey, man, I respect that shit right there. I respect that shit, Straight Jacket.
That complicated of a constitutional issue to be able to apply or not. After nearly every time a criminal defendant gets convicted, there's a motion to set aside the judgment, the jury verdict. And this is no different. They just happen to have kind of a tenuous hook on this, using the Supreme Court's decision. So that decision is going to have to come down. And then the question is there going to be a sentencing after that decision's made?
Watch, I guarantee you we're going to wait all the way until 2029 for them to throw that shit away.
If the verdict does stand,
They're just going to continue to use the case against him, even though he has not been found guilty in shit. It's very ironic how it'll be used by the Dems this entire 4 years. If this is actually what happens right here, the Dems are going to use this against him for the entire 4 years, as well as what we saw in 2016. We watched how the shit show goes down. Yeah. Witch hunts are crazy, man.
What options does Judge Juan Merchan have for sentencing if he waits until the end there of Trump's second term, which, if I do my math correctly, would be 2029
Yeah,
January?
didn't he play like some fucking, it was a comedy bit or whatever, but his highlight was him playing a piano with his dick? Man.
Stupid. Yeah, well, that would be an option. It would just be suspend the whole thing until that point. And then you have Donald Trump coming in. Now, it could happen earlier. For instance, if Donald Trump gets impeached again and this time convicted in the U.S. Senate, he is no longer president. And now he could be amenable to being sentenced. And he could be amenable to being prosecuted with all the federal cases that Jack Smith is raising as well. There is something else Judge Merchan could do. And that is he could impose a prison term that is, say, 2 months long, 6 weeks long, which would happen before Donald Trump is sworn in as president. So Donald Trump immediately goes to prison, and his lawyers would complain that he should be left out during appeal, and there would be all those fights going on. But the judge could do that and at least have the prison portion of any sentence done before inauguration. And then, of course, there would still be probation requirements after that.
A lot of people have said once Trump does take office that he could pardon himself. So my question is, does he have that power overall? Can a president pardon themselves? But also, in this case, does it matter, considering we're talking about a
Be good,
state
AU.
case?
Appreciate you, man.
The
Thank you
pardon
very
power of
much
the United States
for that compliment.
specifically only applies to federal cases under the president's purview. In other words,
Good morning,
he's
GEG.
president of the United States. He's not governor of New
Good to
York.
see you, man.
So he cannot pardon himself from either the New York case or the Georgia case. Now, this brings up the question of self-pardoning. The majority of scholars, unless they're in the kind of the
Man, we're doing a call to action real quick. Mount High knows the deal, man. Hey, we got all you motherfuckers up in the building. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because we go live Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m., the exact same time every single day. Except for tonight, we do have the Diamond Effect, which is every Wednesday at 7 p.m. CST. So we're going to have a discussion today or tonight regarding Ukraine and Russia. So it'll be a definite interesting conversation for sure.
pay of Donald Trump are going to tell you
Thank
that
you,
a
Mile High.
president does not have the power to pardon himself. And again, the framers
Thank you,
would have been
Redneck
shocked
Side.
that
Appreciate you
anybody would be
guys.
having this discussion. And there are several other clauses in the Constitution that cut against that. But of course, there is very few.
And as long as it doesn't break TOS, I read every single donation. If it doesn't break YouTube TOS, I will read it. Absolutely. I am all about that shit. You guys are going to, any donation, I don't care if it's 99 cents, man, it's being read.
manners that kind of can be brought to bear if Donald Trump starts to start running around pardoning himself. But when you think about it, I mean, just the words alone, when you say, you know, pardon me, you're asking another person to do it for you. You're not asking to pardon yourself. I don't know if you're in an argument with your spouse or something and you say, I've decided to pardon myself.
Well, it's different in pardoning, by the way, compared to federal and state. Whether you're, and also if it's civil, you know, and actual criminal, right?
I don't think that goes very well. And I don't think the framers intended that either.
Yeah, that's right, Straight Jacket.
All right,
Let them
Robert
know.
McWhirter, good
As well as
comparison
Hardwire
there.
has a
Thank you
show.
so much for taking the time to join us here. Anything
Facts,
else you want
Redneck
to
Side.
add about really any of this before I let you go?
Insane Wheels, all one word. Get 15% off on all Redneck Side motorcycle whips merchandise over there. Go check them out, dude. They're a channel sponsor and they make amazing, good quality shit. I'm talking about like flannels, actual whips for motorcycles and stuff like that. Get back whips. They have all sorts of really, really cool shit. Go check it out, man.
To go.
Yeah. You know, what's really at stake here is not just one man going to prison. It's really at stake is the principle that no
It just sounds like a whole bunch of cope, Xavier. Sounds like a whole bunch of cope.
person is above the law. That goes all the way back to Magna Carta in the year 1215. Nobody is above the law. And I think that what Donald Trump is facing, giving him a pass on this, regardless of whether you think the jury verdict was fair or not, that's the way we do it in America. You're convicted, you have to face consequences for that. And I think that principle is what's important. And I hope the judge upholds.
Who's the little man? I'm the guy that's up here. You're the one that's in the chat talking whatever shit that you're trying to talk. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but it's all right. You can be down there. And listen, if you ever want to voice your opinion, you can start your own show. You can do shit like that. I'm not stopping you.
All right, Robert, thank you again for being here with us and helping to break it all down. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And a live look once again over New York City. The second that we do get that information, that ruling coming in from Juan Merchan, we will bring that to you right here on Live Now from Fox. Also want to take you out
I wonder
to this
if they have
live
the ruling
that
yet.
we do have outside of the Capitol building as we get to the latest on President-elect Trump. We know that he has picked some new members of his administration, but they will have to go through those confirmation hearings. Robert Moses with Fox 5 New York has much more for us on that.
Judge Juan Merchan has not said when he will decide if he will freeze the hush money case against President-elect Donald Trump or toss it entirely.
What up, Jorge? Good to see you over here, man. Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning yourself.
In a court filing yesterday, prosecutors suggested delaying it while he is president, but opposed dismissing it altogether. The people deeply respect the office of the president, are mindful of the demands and obligations of the presidency, and acknowledge that defendant's inauguration will raise unprecedented legal questions, prosecutors said. We also deeply respect the fundamental role of the jury in our constitutional system. The legal battle will almost certainly delay the president-elect's sentencing scheduled for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Today in Washington, the House Ethics Committee meets as pressure builds for the panel.
House Ethics Committee, by the way. Doesn't that sound like a total oxymoron? House Ethics Committee. Ethics from the House? From our own government? How do they have any ethics? The fuck is going on here?
To release its report on the Attorney General nominee, former Congressman Matt Gaetz, who faces allegations of sexual misconduct and illicit drug use. President-elect Trump traveled to SpaceX headquarters in South Texas yesterday to watch the launch of the world's most powerful rocket on its sixth test flight alongside the company's CEO, Elon Musk. The president-elect continued to staff his administration. He tapped former professional wrestling executive Linda McMahon and a leader of his transition team to lead the Department of Education, which he has vowed to eliminate. McMahon served as the administrator of the Small Business Administration for part of the president-elect's first term. He selected the chairman and CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald and the other co-chair of his transition team, Howard Lutnick, to be Commerce Secretary, and the president-elect nominated Dr. Mehmet Oz, the former TV host, to be the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services.
And that was...
He said, I have all day. I love that shit right there. And I appreciate you, Jorge, by the way. It's always a good time hanging out with the panel, with you and hanging out and having a good-ass discussion. Yeah, man, I very much appreciate you making your way over here onto this side of the internet where we talk about world news and geopolitics, world events, politics in general. Something I really, really enjoy. Obviously, this is what I do daily. So I very much appreciate you guys being here and enjoying your time with
Moses
us.
There with our Fox 5 New York team. We'll be checking in with him once again as he follows all the latest on politics leading up to Trump's inauguration on January 20th. That is 2 months from today.
Now, a lot of shit can happen in 2 months, yo. A lot of shit can happen in 2 months. I mean, just in the last 2 months, a lot of shit has happened just in 2 months, just 2 months ago. You know, so a lot can happen, man. And what we're watching happen with Joe Biden and Ukraine right now is despicable. I actually condemn the action of us, giving us now all of a sudden the authority over there with our long range missiles. I just don't understand it. I'm not putting two and two together. Aside from, now I'm looking from a worldview dynamic and a world like. the actual world, the betterment for the people. But what can they benefit from? Well, we do know that Ukraine has become a launder state where for let's just go ahead and say it, the Obama administration as a whole. And unfortunately, it's caused a lot of chaos. It's caused a lot of upset, and it's caused a lot. Look at what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. Like that shit, I'm going to be honest. When we see Trump come in, all of a sudden, that shit's going to fucking wash out. Now, of course, is there still going to be animosity between the two? Of course. Of course. But if we stop backing what Ukraine is doing, they're going to stop doing what they're doing. The only reason why they have balls is because of us. It has nothing to do with anything else other than we're the powerhouse and we back you, and that's unfortunately just how it goes down, man. So with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and raid our friend Samantha. She is an amazing conservative spokesperson, also in the political landscape. She's live right now. I've never raided her, so go show her some love in the chat, man. Go ahead and just type in the chat, hey, Mike Ball raid or Insane Wheels, whatever you guys want to call it, and let her know that we're there. And she's a small streamer. She just really kind of started up not that long ago. Show her some love. She's really knowledgeable in these aspects. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning, or tonight, actually. Tonight for the Diamond Effect, we're talking more about Russia, Ukraine. So stick around, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We'll be live again. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Make sure you follow me on my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only myself, the show, and also Millennial Food Time. We get down with our bad selves with drinks, some left-handed tobacco. You know what we do over here. So listen, man, go show Samantha some love and let her know we're there. Much love and honor. Respect, everybody. We'll see you guys tonight.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire.